Help by Phone is a food pantry. Last year, they provided groceries to over 40,000 people countywide, and they're facing food insecurity themselves and could close in September.
Yeah, we first heard that back in December, not long after the successful the pottery, the soup bowl fundraiser last fall.
The most ever, right?
That's right. It was very successful, but yet wasn't enough. The problem that we learned before is a serious reduction in federal funding.
And great uncertainty there too, because they seem no one's answering their calls or emails.
Yeah, FEMA, emergency management, used to be involved, but that's right. There's that. Plus even the inability to deduct things from your taxes. Right. You can still deduct it, but the amount is much higher under new tax laws, so that has hurt all kinds of charities, including this one. But we heard the dire news that they weren't sure they were going to make it till March. But now in this week's paper, we read that they got a huge influx of cash, not huge, but larger than they expected, and also a lot of donations of food. And so they're good. They can be open now through sometime in September. We didn't get the exact date, but sometime in September is when the next kind of question mark.
And they've been doing their good works since 1968, so that's quite a while.
I know, it's hard to, yes, and it's such a venerable and important institution in our community. We want to see it continue, and there's clearly a need for it, with all the people that they serve. So,
to support Help by Phone, contact Board President Marcia Voigt by email at mlvoigt@verizon.net, or you can call her at 301-925-7220. There's another contact, and it is listed at the end of the article in the Greenbelt News Review. Check that out. City Council and representatives of WMATA met in work session, and one of the issues raised was the possible elimination of the B30 bus.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever ridden it. I have a few times, and it's convenient to just swipe your card and be at BWI. But so a couple things have come together. First, the administrators, the WMATA administrator who was at the work session sharing the information with council, said that the ridership was very low, which surprised them. It surprises me. It was in the 200s, 260 some.
264 a day.
Yeah. So, and apparently that's a very small ridership compared to, because they can compare it with other bus lines. So it was a small ridership, plus, as usual, WMATA is needing to tighten its belt. Apparently the money that there's a cap to the money they can receive, government funds they can receive, and as their costs go up, the cap stays the same, and as the administrator put it, it severely curtails what we're able to do. And in a sense, it sounds like they're able to do less and less, every year. And speaking of income, they're talking about raising fares as well, in general.
Exactly.
Raising fares. And so those are separate pieces of a total picture. But the council was very unhappy to hear the possibility that the B30 would be canceled. They said it was an important link for Greenbelters and others in PG County to get to the airport.
One council member said that if you look at the links to airports in Virginia, much stronger, and here the link to BWI is kind of neglected. I think the measure of ridership may not apply so much to this, because it is a need. So you can't, so even if only 300 people a day need it, what are those 300 people going to do when it's not around?
Yes, I can understand maybe from a black and white, from a green visor point of view, when you're just looking at raw numbers. Oh, that's a small number, so we don't need that. But when you look at the human side, which which is what the council at that work session wanted to factor in, wanted to make sure that they knew, that WMATA knew. You factor the human side in, and you see that it is important and that it would be good. Another thing that they mentioned, speaking of spending money, they brought up again, and we've heard this at a lot of council meetings over the past months, and that is the condition of the metro station, of Greenbelt Metro Station. It's really, really in need of a facelift, apparently.
The platform, yes, one of many things, right? And Emmett Jordan raised the condition of the sidewalks and cleanliness of the station, too.
That's right. And the WMATA administrator said that they had let go of the firm that was doing the cleaning, saying it wasn't adequate, and in fact opened up some new positions, are hiring people for cleaning, or at least, I don't know where they're at in that hiring, but that's how they were trying to solve that problem. They are going to install some new lights soon. In terms of a major upgrade, that's on their list, it's on their radar, but likely, from how I read that, not in this next budget year.
Next, let's move on to the Greenbelt Community Foundation, and they awarded grants to 2 organizations.
Yeah, what a resource. Greenbelt has several unique things. I guess they're unique, but they're valuable. And one is the Greenbelt Community Foundation, and they have money that they give for grants and ranging from $500 to $5,000. And so there were 2, and there are 2 grant cycles per year. So one went to the jump rope group, City Stars.
Greenbelt City Stars,
yeah.
And they show up at so many events and are so entertaining.
They're amazing. It's like, gravity doesn't count for them or something. But they're funding, the grant given by the Community Foundation was for getting students moving and exercise.
With their parents, right?
That's right. I guess a family thing. Step up or step in, I forget the name of it.
And you get to bring a jump rope home to practice, which is important, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a clever way to also keep you moving other times during the week. Besides just at the class. Maybe I could benefit from a little bit of...
no, not you, only me. Right?
Oh, well, maybe, okay. A little jump roping at home.
And Cheers is getting money, too.
Yes, that's right. And I'm always interested in what Cheers, focusing on local environmental, ecological things, but especially this grant got my attention because I'm a gardener, and it's going to be all about seed saving and how to do it, encouraging people, training people what it means to collect and save seeds. And there's a lot of skills that more of us, I think, are going to need to have, want to have, and need to have over the next months, years. And one is knowing how to grow our own food, and part of that is knowing that, well, okay, you can send away to the seed company and get a packet, or you can save seeds yourself. And it's more just vegetables, I know. But so it really intrigued me. I'm real anxious to see what they do and how they do it, how this goes.
You also mentioned that there was some budget talk at a council work session.
Yeah. I shouldn't admit this, editor of the paper. I should, budget, but it's hard for me to, I think, slog through it. But you know what? It's our budget that funds the wonderful things our community does and the necessary things, infrastructure and so forth. And so it was actually at a meeting that was a city manager report. Nicole Ard was just giving a report, sort of the state of the city. I think she does that 4 times a year or something, periodically. And a part of that was a mid-course, okay, where are we at budget-wise in terms of money coming in, revenues from sales tax, real estate tax, income tax, from hotel and motel taxes, and then expenses. And essentially, the bottom line is, they're about where they need to be. We're getting enough money in to meet our budget needs. There's a few areas where there might be imbalance, but the general picture is we're doing all right. We need to keep an eye. The city needs to keep an eye on things, on infrastructure repairs, the fact that so when you do a budget, you say this is where the money's going to come from, and they expected more, say, from the hotel motel, but all the construction happening at Crown Plaza has made the occupancy, because they haven't been able to, it's not been a normal year. for them. I mean, obviously, they're as anxious as anybody to be fully occupied and to, you know. So it's those kind of things. Nothing, it's newsworthy, but it's not, it's just, okay, a note. Mid-course, we're on target. Things are okay. We're monitoring things.
So good news, nothing to worry about there, right?
At this point, yeah, that's right.
Thanks for bringing us up to speed on events here in Greenbelt this week.
Glad to.